it's pre-test day. We're gonna start drawing our pre-test drawing using the image in the directions for Monday, August the 31st. So just wanna go back over. If you have a sketchbook, use your sketchbook. You are going to want to fill the whole page for this. Don't draw tiny. Don't do it. All right? Don't draw tiny. Fill the page. That's going to be one of the things I'm looking for, is your ability to fill the page. If you don't have a sketchbook, or you've opted to go with the folder computer paper route for your sketchbook, you want to take out one piece of paper. You want a hard, flat surface to draw on, and you will need the image. I am currently filming on my phone, but if you have it brought up on your phone, you could use that. If you need a bigger image, you could print it off. If you have a printer at home, it's okay if it's in black and white. But because I have my iPad here at school, I brought out the image on my iPad, and I'm going to demonstrate how to approach this drawing for those of you that may feel a little intimidated by it. All right, the first thing I want to do anytime that I'm drawing is I want to make sure that I have all the supplies I need. You want a wood pencil that you can sharpen with a hand sharpener, or buy the ones that are already sharpened, whatever. But you want to use a wooden pencil and not a mechanical pencil. Mechanical pencils do make nice crisp marks. You don't have to worry about the tip going dull, but it can leave score marks on your paper because it is a harder lead that will make it harder when if you need to erase. I have this little old pink eraser to use in addition to my pencil. This is a new eraser, but sometimes I want to erase a larger area, and so this is a good eraser for that. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to look at my image. Because this was taken on my iPhone originally, it made it a little more square because I had it in the square function. And so my paper, I want to see what direction is my image. If it was more horizontal, I would want to turn my paper horizontal. If it was more vertical, which is up and down, I would want my paper vertical. So it is kind of square, so if I wanted to kind of block off my paper a little bit, I can put a little top and a little bottom. This gives me some fences. Since this is kind of a practice drawing, it's okay if you want to make the format match. So I have made this kind of more squared off so that the proportions of the paper that I'm drawing on match what I'm looking for. I'll turn this just a little bit more. Okay, so one of the other things that I look at is I look for the placement. I want to set myself up for success. And so one of the biggest things that students who are just starting out drawing will do is they'll make some assumptions. They'll just randomly draw it wherever. So the thing you have to look at is take a moment to observe where things are. I have 3 toilet paper rolls. They're in ascending order. I have one at the top, one kind of more in the middle, but still closer to the top, and one down here. The biggest roll is this one right here. Because it is closer to me, it appears larger. And as it gets further away, they get a teeny bit smaller. It shows the space. And the other thing I notice is that even though I know toilet paper rolls are round, these are not perfectly round on the top because I'm not looking at them straight down. If I'm looking at it from further away, it's gonna look like a flattened oval. The only way that this would look circular is if I was looking straight down. All right, so now that I've kind of established that we have kind of this general line of action, I'm gonna draw really lightly to begin with. Pro tip, draw light. It's easy to erase if you decide you don't like those marks. It's also easy to just cover it up and pretend it was never there, and it becomes part of the history of your drawing. So I kind of look, I divide it up into, woo, we just went backwards. I will divide the space into kind of a grid. Like, where's the halfway point on the paper? on the sides and the middle. And I just use these to kind of anchor me. I'm not worried about it being perfect because it's a drawing and I want to be kind of expressive with this. But I notice it's on the left half side of the image, the top roll is, and it doesn't come all the way halfway down the page. So if this is kind of roughly, I'm eyeballing it, then this top toilet roll, I'm gonna lighten this a little bit. I got a little happy. I want it to still be there, but I want it to be very, very light. And then I'm going to kind of put some fences in. So my top roll, I want the top part to be here and the bottom to be here. Width, it's kind of in this. And then I will draw, they kind of overlap a little bit. And then I will draw roughly where this is. If I don't, I'm just doing it really quick so I don't overthink it. I can always change it, it's just a pencil. And then this toilet roll is kind of in here. And that's how I start most of my drawings. At this point, beginning students will tend to say, oh my gosh, it's already messed up. It's not gonna look right until it's done. So give yourself a break. Take a deep breath. If you find yourself getting frustrated at some point, just put it aside for a little bit and come back. This is why I'm giving you several days to do this. But the big thing that you need to do when you're drawing this is have your image that you're drawing right next to your paper so that you can just move your eyes. You don't even have to move your head, you just move your eyes from the picture to the drawing, and you want to look back and forth constantly. All right, so I'm just going to start with this one here in the back because I really want to do the one in the front, but I tend to do the ones that I'm trying to avoid to do the most. All right, so it's a flattened oval. The thing you have to worry about with this is the sides of the top have to match, the sides have to match the top. They can't be here because this is not like a deflated muffin that didn't come out right. We have to make sure that the sides, so if I need to adjust it, it's not a big deal. And the other thing is because this is curved, the bottom has to be curved. And ideally, this same curve is this at the top is the same curve at the bottom. If you notice, I'm only drawing the part of the toilet paper roll I can see. I'm not worried about this side over here because this other little friend is covering it up. Now that I'm looking at it more closely, I have discovered that the angle of this is not the same as what I drew it here. The top of this kind of lines up more with the edge. And that's gonna happen. So allow yourself to just take note of the changes. I was just initially sketching it in so it didn't hurt my feelings. This is just paper. It's just a pencil. It's not gonna hurt me unless I hurt myself by saying negative things. This is all about learning. Every time I draw, I learn something new. Recently, I had been working on a painting in ink of Mr. Chipman, and I spilt some ink on a part of the side. It was stuck to my hand, and I like dabbed it around because my hand was rubbing on it. And I got really mad, and I set it to the side, and I was mad about it all day. And then I went back the next day and realized it wasn't as bad as I thought, and it was barely noticeable, and that worried about it didn't achieve anything other than just stressing me out for one day. So just let it go. And then we have a little bit of this toilet paper coming off the roll, and it's kind of curving around. It's kind of like when people draw those banners in their fancy little journals. You've probably seen how-to tutorials on how to draw little banners. And so the same kind of thing happens here. You have areas that are wider and it gets narrower, and then you see another part of it. This is just the initial drawing. All right, I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna put this in time lapse so you don't have to hear me talk the whole time.